don't ask me to do any more than that.
Well, you gotta get stopping, so.
And
Is this live, your live? Yep, you're good.
Okay. We'll call the meeting to order, the joint meeting between the county council and the city council to discuss the PSAP dispatch. I guess we need to begin with the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Kind of close, isn't it? I think, Chris, you sent out a little budget or something?
Yes, yeah, do you all have a copy of that? It's, there's two things here. One is your, what it is current, and then one is the proposed, on it. The current is this
Says appropriation.
says appropriation report, there you go, that's a better way to do it. And the other one looks like it has more open lines and so forth. Yeah, I think has more pages to it even. So, you can kind of get an idea of where we're at to today, pretty much roughly on it, or well, to the end of July, August 1st. So where we're at and how much is left in each line item on the budget, from the salaries down to, drug screening, to fees, travel, utilities, and what have you.
So it looks like about 50% after 7 months.
Probably, yeah, that's fair to say, I think. Which is, good. I mean, you're saving a little bit, it sounds like, you're not over.
So you probably would, do you anticipate having like maybe around 10,000 left or something like that? I guess it depends.
Yeah, it could be. It depends on just, if there's overtime, that would definitely, hurt it quite a bit, but, a piece of equipment could go down between now and then. Nobody anticipates that, but that's why it's a surprise sometimes. But if everything goes as it has been, you're right. I think you would see that small decrease maybe. So it shows our dispatchers are doing their best to save money when they can.
What happened with the dispatch coordinator that is 100% left?
Because that is half of what Assistant Chief Lamian is getting paid. And the
So you
first
do
6
that.
months, we paid him out of the regular city general budget.
So the last 6 months. that
And
was
then
it.
last 6 months out of here.
Okay, that makes sense. Anybody else have any questions on the appropriation report?
David, if I may, it's also to
Yeah.
maybe just point out, we do have Assistant Chief Fleming here. He's over the dispatch, and we also have Micah here. He's also a dispatcher and does a lot in there and does a lot of the training and so forth. But both those gentlemen are on the PSAP committee, and they did meet 2 weeks ago, sound about right, something like that, and they went over this as well. So they have their opinions, and I don't think I'm missing anybody else as well. You and I were in there, but we're not on it.
Right, correct.
The actual PSAC committee comprised of Tracy Young and Roger Smith,
Yes.
and then Phil and Micah, and then Lee Hall and Jason Lenny,
Uh-huh.
and then I guess by default Steve Halford.
That's correct. Yep.
So we don't have many of those here tonight.
No.
Steve left on vacation this
I
afternoon.
know, that's what I heard.
Tracy might be working. She, I know Tracy and Roger both are working. Okay. Do you guys want us to kind of explain a little bit of some of the things we did? And we have an idea that might help with some payments. I don't know have you talked to Tracy about the idea?
No, I have
I'm
not
surprised
had
you-
time.
It's not bad. It actually might be helpful. So I'll just turn it over to Connie, let her kind of explain a little bit of this.
As you're looking at the budget estimate for 2025, it shows, our regular salaries that we have had. We did put a 5% increase in on dispatcher salaries for next year. And all the positions stayed the same, except we did add a small amount in there for the payroll deputy that does process the payroll for dispatch. That is the one that has the most of our employees, and it does take a while to do all of their payroll. So we have included that in.
Is that 3,000 entry?
That's at 3,000, yes. And then on the next page is, your basic, your matching your FICA and your Medicare and your interest, health insurance, and then we also have to pay on the coordinator, which is Officer Flamion, on his police pension. So that is something that we have put in for next year. This year I was able to do a transfer to cover this year's, but now we do have it established in there for next year. Supplies, I think, stayed basically the same.
Connie, can I interrupt you just a minute, please?
Pardon?
Can I interrupt for just a minute?
Yes.
I was under the understanding, and I don't know if I really ought to bring this up, but then again, it's what we agreed on last year, was Philip was going to become a law enforcement man again, or a totally 100% law enforcement. He was going to wash his hands, so to speak, of dispatch. That's not going to happen now?
I think if that would happen, you guys would probably need to hire a 911 director.
We can't hire an employee to oversee city employees.
That is correct.
But I think it's great if we don't, but it's something we agreed on.
I might be wrong, we may have discussed, I don't remember, I'm sorry. I remember discussions about the salary because it was 75%, we reduced it to 50. And if I'm wrong, I'm sorry, I just don't remember.
Who would you, I guess, who would be over it then?
I'm not sure, but I'm not sure.
Right.
I want to I want to fulfill our obligations. Because I can kind of understand you in the chief's position and the mayor's and the city councils, your assistant chief, you need, I don't know. I don't know that really, it's not, I know it takes a lot of time at times, but there's times that it's not a full-time job. And not that I've worked it, I don't mean disrespect or anything, but I'm just saying.
Yeah.
With, different ones, I communicate a lot with you guys. And,
Well, I mean, it's half his salary still.
I mean, if
so-
you're willing to leave it, I'm not saying it's a bad thing to do.
You would still have to have somebody man.
Absolutely. You still gotta have a man, you've gotta have somebody over.
If you hired someone to manage it, you'd probably have to hire someone full-time, and that half salary there would probably, I don't say it would double, but it would go up quite a bit. It would cost
I
more.
mean, I just wanted to
So-
kind of revisit not that my memory's great, but that is one thing that I've been worried about. Didn't lose sleep over or anything like that, but I've been concerned about how in the world how that was gonna work out with city employees being, because that was one thing it was stated that it was definitely gonna be over January 1st, 2025. So I don't know.
Well, I don't want to speak for the city, Mayor.
You can speak
For
it.
the city, but I'm assuming we're okay with this as long as Philip is okay with that.
It's probably something, Keith, you're very valid in your thoughts on that, I think. But I think it's probably something that it's going to take a little more time than what we have to plan for the 2025 for it.
Yeah, we talked about this last year, that we wasn't gonna wait until this late in the year.
Here we are. It's one of those things that sneaks up.
I know, I'm not,
You can't prepare a budget any earlier than now either, so. So basically, then the rest of the budget request stayed the same as it was for this year for 2024, except we did add a administrative fee of 2% of the budget, which come to a total of $19,500, bringing the total budget request for dispatch services for 2025 at $978,275.
How much did you say that was up? I see it's up about 79,000.
Last year at the current year budget, it was 899,000.
It's on the bottom of that second page that has the current budget. That, well.
Yeah.
It's,
So it's up
it's,
79,000.
yeah, it's
899.
two places.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
Page 32 or
It
page.
totals it up down there. One thing that we've talked with the PSAP committee about is invoicing the county monthly. Connie would put together something separate called a spreadsheet that outlines a detailed history of all the expenses that occurred that month, and then just like any invoice you get for a service, you just would pay it, you'd look through it. If you have questions on it or want to see a receipt of some sort, we could provide that, it wouldn't be an issue. I mean, if you want a copy of every receipt in there, we could probably do that, but that would take a lot of
So
time.
you'd be providing an invoice on actual
Actual
expenditures?
costs,
Yep.
yes, for the month,
And
yes.
do you want to show, I don't know if you
I
want to
just
show,
brought one, I apologize, but I can pass it
do you want to see it, Chris? Chris, I mean, well, mine's on the counts, but
Yeah.
Chris kind of, see what your thoughts are, because
We would provide something like this that would show the payroll and then the
category.
each category, what was expended for that month. Currently, we look at what our total budget request is and what they have to put towards it, and then we divide that by 12. And then we bill them that amount, and they send us a check every month. So this would be much more accurate of what we actually are spending. Yeah. If we would do this every month. Oh, I apologize, I had to talk to you, Chris. That's
That
okay.
was one of the things that the PSAP committee will be met with, we did discuss.
Did
this.
discuss,
We thought
yes.
that was also a better way of showing the county, hey, this is exactly what we're spending, no, it's not. Instead of going over what we're doing now.
It's your good
At the end of
transparency.
the year, and
You're reimbursing based on actual rather than budget.
Yes.
correct, yes. Because, some of our actual, like, health insurance is very hard to know now what people are gonna take in 2025.
Right.
Or depending with dispatchers, we have turnover and don't know if they're gonna take family coverage or single coverage. So this would be much more accurate as to what we spend per month on dispatch.
Then you guys would be able to see how much we've appropriated, what we've paid, how much we've got left, instead of just setting a flat rate every month.
It's just like a normal claim, yes, it's,
Claim, yeah.
and,
Yeah.
yeah, I think it would help show you guys, transparency, and you get to understand, oh, wow, I didn't realize that's what something like that costs, certain things. You'd be surprised at what certain things cost.
Payroll.
would we have the power to deny a claim? Or do
Well, we don't know about, that's the next question.
That is my only holdup on this, is because we would have already paid this claim, any of these claims. And then if the county would come along and say, hey, that doesn't look like a dispatch claim to us, then that would be a problem that we
Well,
have to work out or something.
currently, right now, the way it's being done, you wouldn't know it anyways.
Right.
But now we're kind of showing you more, so you would learn more about it. And I'm very confident in Connie and the dispatch team, and that they wouldn't submit any invoices that couldn't be justified or wouldn't. But you probably could, yes, in essence, Keith.
Yeah, Keith asked a legitimate question.
Oh, it is.
What do we do if they don't approve the claim?
Yeah.
That is a concern of mine, so.
That's, and part of us, being more transparent, that might come back and cause some problems, but at least now you're,
Are the claims submitted for approval now, or do you just automatically pay?
We pay it and it goes on the claim docket, but yeah.
But it's nothing detailed.
But it's nothing detailed.
nothing
It's like
detailed.
paying rent, in essence.
No,
It's
but
one,
basically, as long as the appropriation's there, then it's
Yeah.
payable. There's no details as to what it's paying for. It's just the agreement.
Right.
but we would invoice you every month, starting January, all the way to end of December. For the actual expenses for it. Is there anything else, Connie, that
Not that I can.
we're gonna highlight?
That I can highlight on any of this. I think I've really touched, I mean, we didn't add anything really extra to the budget this year, except those 2 lines. Everything else pretty well stayed the same on all your other
Currently, how much-
services and charges.
Just to see the amount, how much right now is, just so it can be, what is the amount the county is currently paying off out of the budget? Because then we're not paying 100% of all of that. I mean, I know we have the 340 out of PSAP, and then what's the increase from looking at $24 to $25 to $25?
Well, currently, the current budget that was approved for this year was 899,000.
Okay.
And for next year, we're proposing 978,000.
It's about a $79,000 increase.
And, we did a 5% on raises, so that affects several lines when you do raises.
And the way you've got it laid out here, the cities are not going to pay anything,
That's correct.
and that's including the utilities? They're not gonna pay anything?
We
Yes.
figure the utilities are figured, dispatch pays 75% of the utilities and the city pays 25% of the building where dispatch is housed.
I think you meant
Oh.
the electric department, what they contributed in
Oh,
water.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
that
I'm
what-
saying, we don't pay all of it.
Right.
So that's what I'm saying, like, we
Okay.
budget the 340, and I'm trying to go off the memory right now.
Right, okay.
You see what I'm saying? Because we're not paying the full.
Right,
Yeah, that's what I'm trying
we
to-
get the money from Tell City Electric, which is 9,500, and wastewater and water is 2,000 each.
Yes.
So
So
that's.
do you still plan on doing that?
I would say water and wastewater, yes. So you could anticipate 4,000 there, 2 from each. I've talked to Chelsea Electric, and they've kicked the idea around of just having an employee on call, that rather than those numbers rolling to dispatch, they would just roll to that employee on call. But I don't think they've given a definite answer, or it's just something they've kicked around.
Yeah.
I mean, it's, what did it say, 9,000?
9,500.
Okay.
That's what they pay.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes, last year we dispersed, 668 county?
I was trying to do the math in my head, but I couldn't remember. I remember the 340, and then we have some out of public
You had
safety.
the 340,
I don't have that with me.
you had the
Connie's got it.
Thank you.
Hang on.
191 for
It looked
state
like
911,
yours,
you had 86,000 for public safety,
911 dispatch.
David, Connie's got that here, that paper that reads off what you're.
35,000 county general, and 12,500 Perry County for the city of Calhoun, and 3,000 in Troy,
Yes,
for a total of 668, 343.
that's the paper that I have also from last year.
So what's
And-
the difference gonna be? What's the breakdown for 2025 gonna be on that? Is the full 79 additional going to be increased on the county, or what? That's what I'm asking is what. the
Right now, it
breakdown
looks like
for
it's
county-
going to be an increase of 344,000,
Yeah,
which is a substantial amount.
no, we didn't budget that much. I'll look at my.
How
As I
come the
said, I haven't
911,
received anything on the county's money yet for next year.
Is
Of
that-
what budgets or what line items they were gonna pay anything out of.
how come the 911, statewide 911 dropped? roughly 20,000.
Well, that I can't answer. That's gonna have to be someone with the county.
Where's that figure come from?
That, the county I do know is from the state of Indiana.
Okay.
But why it's dropped to that, I can't answer.
I mean, it's kind of odd because I wouldn't have thought cell phones would drop, because everybody pays $1 a month. I didn't, maybe people are giving up cell phones, I don't know.
It might be more the landlines dropping off, and, because some people have a cell phone and a landline, they drop the landline just to stay with the cell phone. Or convert it to a Google phone, which there's no cost in that.
Needs to be more pressure put on the state to up them fees.
Just out of curiosity, because we're gonna be going through this in a couple of weeks, how do you guys arrive at a 5% raise for all the employees? How do you, that number go up with?
Is this the same, but am I looking at it right now? Because these are our monthly amounts.
I'll let you two look back. I can't see that. I don't remember glasses.
191.
Yeah, yeah, see, I have our monthly, so that's what we break the claim down off of.
I don't,
That we
what
for
that
each.
is.
And then I don't know if you guys are
I mean,
receiving
no
money from
disrespect,
county.
it's like any other. But, we had that.
I haven't got that from Steve.
Should be
House
consulted.
data.
Okay.
I'm reasonably sure we won't.
Yes.
With Something
And I got
else and all this other
that
shit that we
Too,
probably.
that's how we break the claim down. So that's the increase. We can't, yeah.
Hey,
Some months it's gonna be.
Connie had a good point here to explain about how this is being done here versus someone you said. That's
Right now,
a good point.
Chris showed that we're receiving approximately $129,000 a month from the county for dispatch. Out of your different funds and line items and that. If we go to where we bill you monthly, just looking at the month of August that I have printed off here, it is showing that.
$129
We don't have, we only have 55,
I was gonna say, that's
That's over $1 million.
$1.5 million.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I
you said that.
Yeah,
I
I'm
remember
sorry.
you
I
said
looked
that.
at that number wrong.
Yeah, that's what, we
I
paid
looked at a number wrong.
Yeah, here's-
55,000.
We're getting all them new
that's,
cars.
There we
might be
go.
one of our claims.
Sorry.
You're good, I was gonna wait, I was like, wait.
I didn't bring any of that with me tonight. Okay.
So anyway,
So anyways, if right now we're getting 55,000
Yeah,
Yeah, a
basically
month.
55,700,
A month.
$5 shy.
for the month of August, where I printed off this detailed history, it would be a little over 53,000 that you would be paying. So it's gonna vary per month. But yet in the long run, it's gonna be more accurate. You're gonna be paying exactly what we have spent.
But we still have to figure an annual budget though.
yes.
Yes.
Currently, right now, we're budgeting the 191,843 out of 911, statewide 911. We're budgeting the 34,000 out of lit PSAP. We're budgeting 86.
That's 340,000.
Did I say 340,000? What did I
You
say?
said 34.
Oh, 340, sorry. 86,000 out of lit public safety.
About $81,000.
And then the 35,000 out of county general, which I believe that,
From the hospital or for the hospital.
or ambulance, yes.
So you're not paying anything out of the county general fund other than that 35 for the county, or for the
Correct.
hospital.
Can I ask a question here? I have printed off the 2025 local income tax estimate distribution. And on this, it's showing that the PSAP distribution is gonna be 359,000 for next year.
359,500.
So is that what you're going to be
That's up to
putting?
the council.
Okay.
That's not
It's up to the
guaranteed.
county, yes,
Yeah,
That's no
not
guarantee that you're gonna get
guaranteed,
that.
it's an estimate, yeah.
That's just an
Correct.
estimate.
correct.
We're looking at basically a $26,000 a month raise. A higher expenditure.
You said 344 divided by,
The 344,000.
yeah, 344 divided by 12,
Are you paying right now 55
right under 50.
to us?
Right at 56.
56.
So that would be for this year.
Yes.
That'd
Yes.
be about 650,000 a year, right? It wouldn't be 340,000.
Okay, say that again?
That is just part of their money that they use towards dispatching service is that lit public safety. They also fund things out of other funds.
Chris, did you say the E911 was 190,000?
191, I thought you said.
191,843.
Okay, I show that for this year as 141,000.
No, that was 2023 actual. That's 2023
Okay,
actual.
okay.
Yeah, let me check my budget book just for.
Then the 191 was 843 was the 2024 proposed.
Between us all, we got it, I think.
City ain't gonna pay anything. Next year, in 2025, the city's gonna pay.
Our total amount in 2024 being dispersed was 668,343. Of course, that's divided up between other funds. But if you take that and divide that by the 12, that's where you get the $55,695.25. And those are the numbers I would like to look at when we're doing budget, because I need to know, okay, so basically let's start at where we're at the 668,343. What's our number gonna be? What's that number gonna be in 2025 is what I'm asking.
Chris would know that.
You see what I'm saying, Chris?
Yeah.
Like, what's this number gonna be? Because
I can't see that, I'm sorry. I don't have my glasses, I'm sorry. I can't see.
the 668,343,
It's gonna be 634, 060.
so that's less.
Yeah, here,
Okay, hold on.
I've got glasses, I just
look at this column right here.
Where?
Last column.
I told me to get glasses. Didn't think about
So
that.
that's less.
I don't know why that's less, the first one.
Why is that first one less?
That could possibly be more if we actually get what this says here.
The 359.
There's no guarantee, but you could look at that. You could add 20,000, but it's not gonna change. There's what you're looking at. You're going to have to make up the difference between that and that, which is that amount. I mean, 344.
So the budget's gonna increase that much.
Yep.
So you're gonna go from 668,343 plus 344. I don't, can I see this just for 1 second?
I'm not sure I agree with the records coordinator.
Because I'm taking this number here. Right. Subtracting it from this number here.
Phil, can we ask you a question? The records coordinator and the dispatch coordinator are,
No, it's cool.
This.
what's their
So that's
duties?
basically
Right, that is right.
that.
But we-
This is the difference between what they're actually saying,
So this is
what
what-
it is, and what we think that we would be doing.
But this is what they're wanting.
Yes.
Okay, so what I'm trying to make sure I'm understanding is we were getting this.
She takes all requests.
668, and they're wanting that, which is
$344,252 more.
She's
also our IDEX coordinator, good of all of our IDEX and the training for our dispatchers.
Why is there
That has-
Troy, here, here.
The 12.
These are the zero.
I wouldn't say her, she does some for us, but she does way more. I know. I get it. She does it, I won't say she does it for us as well. But I would say her, because she's also a full-time dispatcher. There's times where she'll fill in and that's all she does do. You know, when we're short-handed, she'll fill in. Could I break down a number for you? No, but I would say her dispatch duties are extremely high. Like,
So.
75%?
I would say higher than that, honestly.
Okay, what about the,
Correct.
this
Okay.
dispatch coordinator?
This
So
is-
that would be mine. That's handling all the complaints, disciplinary actions, that's scheduling. That's, I don't think so, no.
Correct.
Yes.
Which is 344,200.
We currently have
Than what we pay this year.
8 full-time
So we're looking at an
dispatchers.
increase to pay of what we
And
paid
then,
this
and
year.
then the other part of
plus
that you guys are funding with is that records
$344,200.
coordinator for anybody.
I have
that-
309, I have 309, and maybe I just
all
took
this
down.
stuff.
I took that
that they're- with this
668, is
case.
that right?
Mostly if they're,
668.
she has to follow all of her
343
paperwork. She's
minus
the one that's doing the
978,
redactions and
275,
all
I
that
got
stuff.
309, 9.
Yeah, Sherry. She's the IDAX coordinator, so she has to put on all the classes to keep everybody
You know what I mean?
certified with IDAX and all that
That's
stuff.
the entire budget,
Her-
right?
It's extremely high, but I tell you, she's
Yes.
100%.
And it
She does do stuff for us as well.
budget, and
That's-
it could be
very
less.
little compared
Does
to
that include our portion? Because
There is no portion.
The last thing I gotta do yet is basically just sit in there and,
this number, so
which
that's in
I
there.
said, I've been sitting in there,
You're adding
but I'm
that
not
number,
100%.
this number here, L.
That,
That somewhere, that might be
where I just,
What is
There's
that?
certified.
That's why it's wrong.
There's not Hampton, so you've gotta take that off. You gotta take the
that's another
668
thing, I couldn't ask my way less this year, don't get me wrong.
minus
I will tell you that.
13,500, then plus 344, no,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because if you.
Sorry, we need to laugh.
Hey, sorry. I'm a real that puts you at 654, 843 plus.
Oh, yeah.
Plus, or
You gotta
minus,
keep that by the end,
minus
don't get me wrong, you can never say.
Nine,
Share
seventy-eight,
it way more time with the
275.
It's, that the county have to go through. It's closer than what I had.
Yeah,
Is that, what about Tulsa Electric and water? If you take those off, what is that?
we don't have those in here. That's just ours.
Tulsa Electric Water, that's, so.
So if you would take that off,
It would be.
That I'm
you would take that off.
That's still not 309, is it? That's
Five,
so it's below 309. Need a spreadsheet. We need a whiteboard.
We're looking at about basically $340,000 more. Am I correct? You said
Yeah,
no, there's-
309.
I said 309, but
I
that's,
don't know where I'm not getting that.
because I subtracted this number here, which is the
You
new
know, when it
budget,
comes down the road,
and I
we
minus,
wanted to be more
subtracted
transparent with
What
you
the
guys,
city
that's why we brought
already
this money,
has.
Billy.
where the county.
What county?
Right.
Minus
I subtracted
6.
that, and that was the difference.
Right, and you don't see it, and now you see it with the way that they're wanting to do it. You don't see that
78, 275
expense every month.
minus
And if you guys are feeding us.
668,
And like you said last month.
343, so that gives you 309.
You know, because if you go to the
Because you've gotta take those off.
So you still need to subtract that from the thing, because that will still stay.
If that was us, we would want.
So you will,
Five, it's the water and wastewater will still be two. I'm gonna try to speak for Tulsa Electric, and I'm not.
okay, so that's gonna put you to 296. So you're looking at the increase of 296 right now. So you're thinking this is still gonna stay?
Yes, so you would get that.
But not the 950, you said just these two.
Well, no, I think electric's gonna stay,
You
because
think the
they
electric
want,
will stay or next year?
I can get a better answer tomorrow or
Hey, Dave,
next week for that,
this?
but they've not indicated to me that's 100%
Can I make a
what it's
motion?
gonna
Can
be,
you
so I.
entertain a motion?
I missed something down there. I heard a motion or something, but I don't know what it was.
I'd like to entertain a motion.
Oh.
That we take this under advisement and we get together in a couple of weeks or whatever. Because this is the county's been dealt quite a blow when it comes to having to come up with monies. And I don't know we don't have a whole lot here but still we need to figure out where we're gonna get the money
Okay.
before we agree to something. That's a motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Motion by Keith, second by Paul to table take it under advisement so we can review it more to see where we're at. All those in favor, signify by saying aye. Opposed, nay.
David, just real quick, that's not a bad idea, I don't think, but that'd give me the chance to reach out to Tulsa Electric, and I can confirm their contribution. I don't think that's gonna change. I think it's gonna stay, but I'll have a better answer for that than plus or minus something. It'll give you a number.
It's just too much to absorb, 340,000.
We got it at 309,
Well,
actually 296.
340, 309, it's not a lot of difference.
You know.
I think it has probably something to do with the, maybe city accountant and Troy.
The 13,500.
I think that's what you're.
Yeah, so if you take that off, we get to the
Yeah.
309.
Do you know if, did Cannleton or Troy ever contribute any money last year to this at all?
No,
No.
they were supposed to, but
They
So
never
in
did.
2023, they did not, and they have not in 2024, then also.
I don't believe, I think that from what I remember with Steve Hauser, is that we couldn't even get the interlocal agreement signed because the city was not contributing. So,
What
do
city?
you remember that?
So there wasn't any contract.
There was no interlocal agreement done with Cannleton or Troy.
So the county picked up their tab. I mean, is that fair to say?
they had asked them to pay, I think it was 50% less, the 13.5, it used to be
It was
paid,
half in 23, I believe.
the
but I don't-
12.5 it was, wasn't it?
Yep, it was half in 23, but
They
I
were
don't think,
paying 6,000,
yeah, but I don't, we didn't get anything
but
in
in the year that
2024.
Tell City reduced theirs in half,
Yes,
they felt it wasn't fair for Troy and Cowington to pay 100% also. So theirs was reduced in half. And you're saying we didn't even receive that?
I don't.
I'm not sure on that, but
I'll have to check that tomorrow to be sure. But if I remember, Steve, my years are getting mixed up between 23 and 24 now.
you can check on it.
I'll check on that and advise via email. I'll let David know, then he can send that out. I do remember that where Tell Cities was paying half, so then it was like they couldn't pay half, or they didn't feel it was right for them to pay 100%, so it got down to half. And then we had this meeting last year, and then I don't think interlocal agreements with Hamilton and Troy got done. And so I don't recall, but I'll make sure that getting anything this year, but I don't hold me 100% to
Steve
that,
Hauser was working with them.
and I don't think it happened, so.
So they were getting a service, but they weren't paying for it, basically.
Yeah, it's one way to fix it. You know, it's kind of, you know,
But there wasn't any contract either,
Right.
so,
it's, you know, it's supposed to be a county service.
yeah.
So city council wise, we can make motions, whatever you want to do. I don't know. Or do you have questions? I know for Mike and Brian, this is your first go around, and I'm sure you guys have lots of questions. I'll be happy to try to answer, or Connie could, any of those. Or Gerald, I guess yours kind of, but you were on lease board of works last time and might have a little inkling of some of this.
A little bit.
Larry, I'm saying you don't have questions, but you're
Well,
up on it more.
I mean, they tabled it, so.
Yeah.
I'd offer a motion to adjourn.
Is there any further discussion? I know they tabled all that, but
Second on Larry's motion.
Your door's open to talk on it, Chris.
do what?
Your door's always open to talk.
Well, yeah, you guys have my number, email, call me, email,
Sure.
whichever. So we have a motion made by Larry, Larry to adjourn, and it was seconded by Gerald?
Yeah.
Gerald, all those in favor, signify by saying aye. Opposed? Okay, that, our part's adjourned. I let David, you can adjourn your part if
Okay,
you want.
I would entertain a motion at this time to adjourn.
So moved. Second.
Motion by Paul, second by Stan, all those
She
in favor of
wants that.
adjourning, signify by saying aye.
She's got them counted.
Opposed, nay, motion carried 5-0.
I do think it happened.
They got Alpha Supply. Yeah. I don't have your paperwork, do I? No. I guess it's off. Is it, it's like a.
Stop.
Maybe here's $9.
What is that?
That I was worried about.
Brian tried to get this computers for us.